confidence and just like
definitely gonna shoot.
charisma. It's like plus 10 charisma on Fallout.
Oh man, I feel that that'll get you through any conversation.
You play Fallout?
Yeah, man.
We'll talk about that later.
Fallout fan.
Play MH Volume 2?
Yeah. Oh.
Best game of all time.
Yo, that's crazy. I didn't know you was into that. That's dope.
Yeah, man, I'm low key a nerd and.
I feel you.
But I'm an Asian. I gotta be a nerd. Anyway, so you're from Brooklyn, right?
Yes, sir. Brooklyn, East New York.
East New York, born and raised?
Yep.
Gotcha. So I did a little homework. Because of your grandmother, that's how you got into music?
Yeah. Like, I don't really come from a musically inclined background. You know, I wasn't a pianist or a drummer in church or a singer or anything like that. I picked up music the last year of high school. She was, you know, a musician in the family, but it didn't really fall through for her. And I didn't really think I would ever pick it up. You know, she had a daughter when she was only 13, and it didn't really work out for her. You know, when you have a daughter so young, you know, things don't really pan out the way you want them to. So her music career kind of just stopped there. She had a band. Her band wasn't really into it as much as her either. So, you know, everything just didn't pan out the way she wanted it to. And it kind of fell apart. So I picked it up real late in the game when I was a senior in high school. And I enjoyed it. I more so enjoyed it, not so for like the technicalities of it. Like, you know, I kind of enjoyed it simply because it was an expression of myself. I battled depression a lot growing up, and me being able to produce was a great outlet for me. It was the healthiest outlet I could find besides, you know, like going to the gym and doing all that type of shit. And I really enjoyed it. And I started on GarageBand. Nothing really crazy. I started on GarageBand. It was kind of just a bunch of loops, putting a bunch of loops together and figuring shit out from there. But again, it was just me expressing myself, and it was something small, you know, like putting some beats on YouTube about a girl that like broke my heart or like failing the test, shit like that, you know, really small, yeah, really small. But again, I really enjoyed it. And, you know, like every creative at first, no one really kind of understands or really believes in the vision, but if you stick with it, you know, you could get pretty far. So I kind of picked up where my grandma left off, and I started doing music like 100%. Yeah, and that's kind of where I got my big inspiration from when it comes to that. So.
Singer, you said? Your grandma?
Yeah, she was
what genre?
Singer. More so like, I want to say R&B and soul, but it could definitely still fall into hip hop, I guess. But she was more so like, yeah, R&B soul singer.
What's your fondest memory of your grandmother performing?
Funny enough, so recently before my music kind of like started doing what it did, she made me sit in on one of her rehearsals, and her rehearsals are like every Sunday. Like 3 to 5 hours, and they're like intense. But her band like get together, you know, and they just go over the songs that they did from like 20, 30 years ago before they really had a chance to get into the industry. And I remember she had me sit there for like just 3 hours just to learn, just to understand like kind of where I got my inspiration from and why I'm doing it, just so I could like truly understand like my purpose and everything. Cause you know a lot of people like make music and they don't really like have a clear vision on where they're coming from. So she made me sit in like with her band and kind of understand where they started and why they didn't get to where they wanted to be, and you know like how to not fall into that category or get those pitfalls that she had. And I was really appreciative of it, because you know I don't come from a musically inclined background. So for her to kind of do that, you know, was really eye opening for me, just to see that even like 30 years later, even though they're not on billboards or sold out records or anything like that, they still get together and appreciate the music. So you know, I definitely love her for making me do that and fall in love with what I do before anything else.
Last year of high school, that's when you pursued music?
Yeah. I got out the hospital for the second time in a row. It was a really rough time, to be real honest. It was a real rough time. And I didn't really know how to cope with a lot of things that was going on in life. And when I got out the hospital the second time, I was looking like a crazy man to a lot of people. You know, like a hospitalization is a real big thing.
You were in the hospital for what reason?
Suicide and depression. Yeah, a little mixture of both.
I see.
Yeah, and it was real rough. You know, like it's hard to talk to people about things like that.
Definitely. Yeah.
So I just decided the healthiest thing for me to do, you know, that I like was to do music. You know, I always looked up to people that did music. But I wasn't really interested in being like the rapper or the singer. I was more so interested in just being in the process of creating the canvas that allowed the artist to rap, sing, or do whatever they do. I felt it was just as important, you know. It started somewhere and it ended somewhere else. So yeah, after I got out of the hospital for the second time, I was like, you know what, like let me start turning to something more positive. I was doing like a lot of unhealthy things to like try to get through it. So I was like, why not do music? I had bought like a little iPod for like $130 that I just got from a friend, and I started using GarageBand. But GarageBand taught me like the real basics, like how to organize a track, how to like do 8 bars, 16 bars, 12 bars, things like that. So I just know how to like carry the emotion throughout. Um, yeah, I kind of just took it from there, you know. I didn't think anything of it until like a lot of my friends started supporting me and saying like, yo, like you definitely got something here going. You may not have like the best sound, but you definitely got the emotion that's needed. And I figured if I had the emotion that's needed, you know, that's the most important thing, the emotion in what I'm doing. So I kind of took it from there and just kept going. Real dope.
So you have a lot of influence from Kanye and Drake and 40?
Yeah. So like a lot of right now, what's setting me apart in the game is definitely my sampling. Um, I definitely got most of my influence from Kanye and definitely 40 Noah. Mostly because you know a lot of Kanye's early work, like on Graduation and etc., was like it wasn't really complex. You know, it was kind of like the right chop with the right drums. You know, it wasn't no like whining 808s or anything like that. It was just like the right sounds. And I kind of always found out like the most interesting, like you didn't have to do a lot, you know, to get the emotion that you wanted. And I respected it. You know, it kind of taught me like even though I didn't come from like that musically inclined background, that I could still succeed at the same level as everyone else. Um, yeah, and it kind of hooked me. Like a lot of Jay-Z's early work, like the Blueprint and everything like that. It was just like, wow, like they really had that sound like that really made you feel something, but with a little bit. You know, they didn't have a lot of tools at their disposal, and it was definitely a time in hip hop where it wasn't really like everything was just you know reaching. You know, it was a real inspirational to me, and I felt like well, even though I don't have everything I need, I can still do what I have to do. So that's why I kind of picked up. I studied a lot of their early work just to figure out like um, where they got all their emotion from. You know, so yeah, it was a cool thing. You know, it was a really cool thing for me.
You mentioned Jay-Z and Blueprint. You
Yeah.
talking about like the Neptunes, Just
Yep.
Blaze, Timberland?
Yeah, you
Type of-
definitely got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Consider now like I work with like a lot of different people, and you know I'm be honest. There's a lot of people like that I work with that are like 10 years plus music experience and know the keys and know everything and like can really break things down to you. But they still respect me simply because you know like I don't need all those things to get to the same end point as them. Um, and that's just been my biggest point for me. You know like it was really hard for me to say like, well, I want to be as good as the next guy, but I don't have the knowledge or the time. You know, I always felt like I was on a time constraint. You know, just based on where my life was and deciding to pursue the idea of being a creative is a really tough thing. And I didn't, you know, I definitely didn't have the background to go like, okay, I'm going to be a creative and I'm going to do this. So I kind of had to take what I had available and just make it work as best as I could, and that was always my big motivation. Like I have what I have, and I have to make this work like
You're
as best as
resourceful.
I can. Yeah. And if Kanye and Jay-Z could do it with like a sample flip from a record from the 1970s and 1980s, and I could do the exact same thing as them. You know. So yeah.
1970s, 1980s.
Yeah.
You listen to music from then, or
Yeah, actually, a lot of these days, I'm trying to I'm I've been listening to like a lot of 1970s, 1980s, only because I feel like the sound that they had back then is like kind of what I'm looking for, but also again like I didn't come from a musical background, and I feel like I need to sometimes I need to go back to those old records and understand like where I'm coming from to move up. But a lot of my sampling these days that like I might send to Party Next Door, anybody like that, or Mozzy. This is a little secret. Like it comes from I sample a lot of contemporary records, like a lot of underground music from 2016, 2017, 2018. I do jump back to the 19s sometimes, but my biggest appeal comes from sampling those contemporary records and showing like I can still do it like earlier, but like just showing that like talent from the 2016, 2017 era and up or before is just as valuable as the 1970s and 1980s, and you can still get that emotion you want. And just a simple flip, it doesn't really take a lot of digging. You don't need to be the biggest vinyl record searcher, but if you got your ear to like the underground and you know what's like hidden beneath the surface, you can make it work just as much too. So that's been my biggest attraction to like a lot of dudes in the industry, like being able to flip that contemporary sound and making it work for them.
Gotcha, dope.
Yeah.
Speaking of underground, you had a couple tracks
Yeah.
with J.I. the Prince.
Yeah, I'm being honest. Like I never really knew J.I. until this year. Like everyone knows, my best friend happens to be best friends with J.I. And 3 years ago when I first started making YouTube beats, and I was, in my opinion, ass. I was just starting to get the hang of it and starting to figure out things. One of his friends is Carter, and that's my best friend. And Carter took a liking to my sound like 2-3 years ago. And he was like, yo, I really see the potential in you, and I really like you a lot. And me and Carter have been through a lot. Like, he's also creative, and there was a point in time where we met in LA, and we were both like sleeping on the floor. So like coming into the end of 2019 when J.I. really had his record Need Me that was blowing up, Carter was like, yo, J.I.'s one of my best friends. Like, wouldn't you love to, don't you get in with that? And I was like, all right, bet. So it pays, you know, like that my best friend happened to be one of his real close friends. And the record that the beat that I made for him, like honestly, like it originally wasn't even for him. It was for Mozzy. And I worked on it with like another producer who's really big on YouTube. He sent it to J.I. and J.I. loved it, and you know I didn't think it would be as successful as it did, but it kind of got my sound to a point where I was like, okay, this is the sound I got, and I'm really glad for it, you know. Now I'm locked in with J.I. and we got like a lot more records coming, so yeah.
Excited to hear it, man.
Yeah.
It's great.
Real crazy. The smallest connections are definitely.
Have you worked with him in the studio together?
No, actually. All of my records that I got with him, are just me sending. Are just definitely me sending, and I'm appreciative of it.
Gotcha. I'm curious. You sending beats over to this artist and he accepting it as adults. Do you feel better connection when you're working with the artist in the studio together, or do you like also working on the beat yourself and you're cool with them just hearing it later?
Oddly enough, like majority of my placements have been from home. I'm gonna be like real honest here. Recent, like I've been in the studio with a bunch of artists, and I'm still getting used to it, because you know, like they say being in the studio with the artist is like a layup. Like it's guaranteed placement. Like you catch the vibe and it's pretty much there. But for me, that's so nerve-wracking, especially like when my creative process is not as fast as like a lot of my contemporaries, where it's like you lay that 808, you got the melody and everything's hitting, and it's real fast. I like to take my time a bit. You know, I like to find like the perfect sound that's like it makes everybody like in the room feel away. So yeah, I've been offered a lot of like, yo, come to the studio and like let's work in person, from like a lot of names, like from big celebrities like Instagram influencers. But I'm just starting to get out my comfort shell and like actually go to the studio.
How did that collaboration with Snoop happen? Cause that's a living legend.
So I just dropped out of college on a full-ride scholarship, and I came home.
Full-ride scholarship.
Full-ride, and you know, like everyone was looking at me like, why the hell did you drop out on a full-ride? Like, what's wrong with you? So when I first came home, it was real tough. I'm gonna be honest. It was just like high school part 2. Like as a creative trying to get it, like everyone's like, what are you doing? Like you never know if it's gonna work. And you know, a few things that happened during that time. But I decided to start working at a studio. You know, like one of my friends who like I used to work with out of his home. He's like, yo, come to the studio and like let's work. You know, like I know you're trying to find an opportunity. Like I might know a guy or two. You never know. So I pulled up to the studio in Bushwick, and Fresher, who's like a rapper and loving hip hop right now.
I'm familiar.
Yeah. His creative director just happened to be there, and he was like, yo, like you're a really dope kid. Like I like your energy and I like your sound. Would you want to lock in with me and Fresher? Because you know we're trying to do like a little comeback run and get shit popping again. And I was like, sure, no problem. You know, like I'm really down for the idea. And like after like the second record in with Fresher, we had got like some features with Fetty Wap and like Skating from the 9 and Flipping There and a bunch of people. And Snoop Dogg, he hit up Snoop Dogg and he was like, yo, let's get one in. And you know, I was producing all of Fresher's records up until this point, so they're like, yo, we need a record for Snoop. I was like, oh shit, like this is the biggest opportunity I ever had to this point. Like so I had to lock in and like get used to Snoop's sound, that West Coast like bouncy feel, and it was I'm not gonna lie, it was tough at first, because you know I was like it's a lot for me, and I was new to the game. I was only 6 months in, and I already had to make a record for Snoop, and I was like, shit, like this is tough. So I locked in, and I had like a day or two to get like 4 or 5 records done for Snoop. I'm be honest with y'all, like it was tough for me, so I ended up bullshitting, and you know, like it got to the point where it was like Fresher was in the studio with Snoop, and like I had to send some records. So I decided to take like a Tyga, you know, like West Coast bounty approach to it. And you know, they had told me like Snoop had like 16 to 32 beats to pick from, and I only sent 2. Like I really only, I feel like I only had 2 that would like work for Snoop. And you know, the way Snoop works, like he has his own facility for recording, like real like in-house. He has a bunch of in-house producers and everything. And I sent my 2, and I was just like, damn, like I don't know if these are gonna work. And like a day or 2 later, like his creative director, Fresher's creative director, hits me up, and he's like, yo, like Snoop got on it, and he sent me the song, and it was called Tapped In. It's definitely coming out real soon. I can't speak too much about it, but yeah, like they had told me like Snoop fuck with the 2 beats I sent out of like the 16 or 32 he had to pick, and I was just in shock. I was like, there's absolutely no way. Like I'm still a beginner to this.
Out of 32 beats,
32 like
you chose 2 that you sent in.
Yeah. And that was it. You know, that was it. I got the record with him, and I was just like, surprisingly, like not a lot of people. I'm appreciative of you because like not a lot of people were like, you know, looked my way when I was like, yeah, I got a record with Snoop, because Snoop is definitely like an OG in the game. Is real hard to get. He's super hard to get a record with these days. So I got that, and to this day I still bump it in my room. Like, damn, I really got a record with Snoop. Like, you know, it's crazy.
You said you still bump it?
Yeah.
It's unreleased.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, this is real good.
That's so ill, man.
Super appreciative of it. But it just goes to show, like, if you stick with somebody, you know, like, word of advice to like a lot of producers, it's real tough to lock in with somebody who isn't as big as like maybe like somebody who's topping the charts. But if you lock in with somebody like early on and you just, you know, get the records out and you stay consistent with the sound, it could pay off a lot more in the long run than just like trying to hop on every single train that's hype or hot right now, you know.
Yeah, it's good building rapport.
Yeah, real good. So definitely appreciate that. Yeah.
Legendary.
Producers that I know, they'll be asking me like, how the fuck did you get a record with Snoop? And I'll be like, I don't even know, bro. Like, they don't have a long list, like a sheet of like Chief Keef, like Little Durk, a bunch of people they work with. But a lot of them just want to know how I got the Snoop record. I was like, I definitely let them know though. I got real lucky. I'm appreciative of every opportunity, and I'm just, like I said, I just keep pushing, keep working, you know. But I got that credit early on, and I'm just so hype about it. Like, it's hard to get the OG record like placements early on, and just
East New York music producer.
Yep.
How did that Mozzy collaboration come through? Because that's really dope, man. Like, I heard of Mozzy because of Stupid Young, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if you're familiar with Stupid Young.
Nah, first time hearing.
But anyways, how did that collaboration come through?
So of course I have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Growing, getting real big.
Great channel, by the way. A lot of great beats, man.
And a lot of like people in the industry have hit me up because of my YouTube channel, like A&Rs, artists, like all of the sorts. And Mozzy's manager, Davo, really cool guy. Salute to him. He just moved up in the game. And he hit me up and he was like, yo, like, I love your catalog of beats. Can you send me like? He pretty much asked me to send everything. And he's like, yo, send me everything. And I'm gonna try to like get it to Mozzy. And the way Davo works is like he'll get it to everybody in the industry. So funny story, that was not the first beat that Mozzy got on. He got on another beat that was supposed to be like a single that they were gonna push. In fact, Mozzy didn't even like the song. Like, I never tell him shit. He didn't want to release it. And when I was talking with Davo, Davo had convinced him like, yo, this song is gonna be like a hitter, a heavy hitter song. And it was one of my beats that I just, you know, like, I didn't think it was gonna go viral. It ended up going viral, like 200,000 views, 300,000 views. And I got like, that was one of the last songs I had to do with Mozzy like in that time frame. And Mozzy got on it. Davo called me, sent me it like on FaceTime. He's like, yo, bro, I got one. Like, this is a hit. I'm telling you, like, this is a hit. Like, I got the ear for it. And I was like, no way. And I heard it, and I was like, shit, like this one's gonna go crazy. And we didn't think it was gonna go that crazy, but like it ended up like 6 days, 2 million views, and then it's sitting at like 5.3, and it's still going up. 6 days, and I was just like, and it was my I can't say it was my first placement. Like, my first placement was with Skinny from the 9, Soulja Boy, and everything like that. But this was like my first like official placement. You know, like on paper, paid for it, everything like that. You know.
Yeah, Mozzy got some bars, man.
Yeah, look out for his album. I got a few on his album. His album is about to go like dumb. Like,
yeah.
Best even like David doesn't say this a lot, but he was like, this is like he said this is Mozzy's best album to date, and I like, that was crazy to me. Like, I'm really proud to just be on that, you know, helping him create his new sound. So yeah, just look out for that.
That's it, man. You mentioned Fetty Wap from Patterson, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And Skinny from the 9.
So my first placement was with of course I was working with Fresher, and one night Skinny from the 9 pulled up, and you know Fetty Wap pulled up because they're Patterson, New Jersey. You know how that goes. And they all got on this beat of mine and made a song called Bling Blow. And Skinny from the 9 was like, yo, I like this record so much that like I want it. You know, he's like, I want it. So he asked for it from Fresher and like with my permission, and he made it his record. And I was really looking for a placement with Soulja Boy at the time too, and like I couldn't get it. Like, it was just eluding me. I was like, God damn, like I really want a song with Soulja Boy. So I was in LA around the same time I told you about Carter and Jay and everything like that. And Skinny from Nine hit me up and he was like, yo, like I'm in LA right now and like I played the record for Soulja Boy and Soulja Boy wants to get on it. And I was like, shit, like he's like, I need the beat right now, like send it. And I was like, shit, like he's like, I have Fetty Wap from it, I have Fetty Wap on it and I have Fresher on it and I want Soulja Boy on it. So I'm like, all right, shit, like I sent the beat like very last minute, like I was like, fuck, like I was nervous, I was like, I don't know if it's gonna be like the best thing. I sent it, he got Soulja Boy on it, Fetty Wap on it, and then I ended up getting like a bunch of placements in one go, which was real crazy, you know. I was like, oh shit, like I never thought in my life I'd work with Fetty Wap and Soulja Boy on one record. I never thought they would like the record enough to like get on it. So I was real, real happy for that. And it just came together full circle. And it was around the same time I was working with Snoop Dogg and everything, which is starting to come full circle for me, you know?
It's amazing, man.
Yeah, it was crazy.
How long have you been producing? You said you're 20, right?
Yeah.
And you said your last year of high school, so 3 years?
Yeah, about 3 years. Yeah.
3 years?
Yeah, give or take.
3 years, that's amazing.
Yeah. A lot of people ask me that, like, you know, it's funny you say that because, again, now that my name is starting to get out there to the point where, like, a lot of producers want to get to know me and, like, what my appeal is, a lot of them ask me that question, you know, and it's just, like, that's really the truth.
It's a testament to your craft and your sound and your talent.
Damn, I appreciate that.
It's amazing.
Bro. Yeah.
You said one of Tory Lanez guys hit you up?
Yeah, so there's this guy named Dr. Malik, really, really good friends with Tory. So, like, recently, he was working on his album called Complications 2. And, he was in the studio with Tory, and, like, he pretty much told me, like, Tory was, like, his executive producer and things like that. And they just happened to be on my YouTube, like, listening to some of my beats. And him and Tory took a liking to, like, 2 of my beats on YouTube. And he was like, yo, bro, like, I need the stem cities. Like, me and Tory gonna get on there and, like, record. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, and I was drunk, too. Funny you say that. Like, I was drunk, too. So I was like, what? Like, Tory's gonna get on it. And I usually don't respond to DMs and stuff like that because they're just so, like, hectic. And he was like, yeah, me and Tory getting on it. So I was like, all right, bet. Like, you know, I'm gonna send it through and everything like that. And when you had hit me up, he was just like calling me like to let me know like, yo, like Tory's getting on it. And there was another idea he shot to me like that he wanted to like shoot over to Tory. And I was like, shit. All right. So that's why I had to like, I apologize for that, but I was like,
how you good, man?
I'm locked in with like Malik, and right now I'm just trying to make sure like all that shit goes smooth. Really, really cool guy. I never thought Tory would ever hear my work, so that was just like another one to add to the list, you know.
Yeah, Tory has like 8 flows.
Yeah. Oh.
His sound is very like his versatility is amazing, and he still has a lot to go.
Tory was always a person that appreciates versatility, though. So that's
yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for him to hear your beats, and like for him to like connect with you, that's an amazing look for you, man.
Yeah, crazy. Like him and Malik gave me access to the studios whenever I'm in LA, 24 hours. You talked to me about GI earlier. Recently,
yeah.
I can't talk too much about it, but on the point of even versatility, like you probably saw, but like I got a little dancehall track coming out with him too.
I think I saw like a very little like a snippet. I think.
Yeah. And even that, like I'm gonna be honest, like I never really do dancehall or anything like that. And the beat itself was originally for Lil Tecca.
Lil Tecca. Wow.
Yeah, and it was originally for Tecca. And then one day, like, you know, I'm really cool with Dio, which is one of his main producers. And Dio was just like, yo, I'm gonna play this for J.I. J.I. was like fucking with it. And I was like, whoa, really? Like, I'm getting to a point where like I'm starting to figure out J.I.'s sound and stuff like that. And like I said, the beat wasn't even originally for him, it was for Tecca. It was just a bunch of beats I made for Tecca. And like I had rushed home to make the beat in like 10 minutes, you know. And it was just like my first time like really experimenting with a different genre and trying to just do things different. And he loved it, he got on it, and now it's like going viral on Twitter. Like snippets is just shooting up everywhere, like, yo, when is he gonna drop this? And I'm just like, holy shit, like I might actually have one on my hands, you know. Now features are being thrown in the air. I can't talk too much, but features are definitely being thrown in the air about like who should get on it. So again, just really appreciative of it. Really grateful that I just, you know, I take the time to try to do things different and just, you know, just enjoy what I do. So
I saw one of these pictures online. Obviously you mentioned him also, Fresher.
Yeah.
Having a studio session with him. Do you recall any memorable studio sessions?
Yeah, funny enough, actually, me and Fresher locked in the studio a few times. There was like 2 of my most memorable ones. The first one was there was one time he brought me to the studio session with like this like violinist. I can't remember her name, but she like does live performance violins for like J. Cole, Travis Scott, and a bunch of people. And he called me in because he thought like I was really dope, and he wanted me to do what I do and have her put her violins on top of whatever I do. And it was just crazy because it was like, you know, that was my first time like being exposed to like other people in the industry just because my sound is like that, you know, that sought after, that he felt like it was good enough to be in a room with like that level of like artistry. It was really really dope for me. The second one was when he booked the studio in Bushwick and had us like lock in the whole night. He called in like a bunch of other producers, like some that worked with like Kanye, Cassidy, and like a bunch of other people. And they were like, everyone in the room was like OGs. Like they worked with like a bunch of old school, like real big artists. And I was the youngest one there, and he like decided like he wanted me there. And we were putting the finishing touches on his album that's coming out this year. Um, and you know, like all of the beats that we were working on were like mine, and it was just like crazy for me to know like, yeah, all the OGs, like all the producers that came in there were like, yo, we heard so much about you through Fresh, and we heard all the tracks you got with him that are like coming out, and like you're really dope. And at the time I was 19, and it was really crazy to like for me to know like all of these guys that work with some real big legends that my mom and my grandma look up to, saying that they fuck with my sound. It was crazy to me, and we stayed there till like 6 a.m. just knocking out his album. Um, and it was dope, you know, like it was just real. It really changed my view on how like I view myself. I never really been like a really confident person in my sound. So for like a lot of people, like you know, who work with legends to say like, yo, bro, you're dope. Like you got that record with Snoop is dope. Like you got that record with X, Y, and Z and is dope. And to want to work with me, it was just crazy. Like I was like, wow, maybe I really can do this. You know, it was crazy.
Besides music, what do you love to do or create?
Um, Wow, funny you asked that. I've actually been trying to explore those. You know, these days like being so young and being in the music industry, you kind of like you get consumed by it. You know, and music is like at the forefront of so much these days. So it's kind of been like music for me. Whether it be between YouTube or the industry working with X, Y, and Z, it's just been music, and I actually been trying to explore like different things. You know, I kind of found myself like I might be into art. You know, I'm actually like really big on writing. I love writing a lot. I wrote a few novels like on my own personal time, you know, stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I'm just trying to figure out who I am outside of the music, because the music is great, like you said, but yeah, I feel like there's so much more to me than just music, you know, and everyone is seeking me. It's kind of tough right now because everyone is just catching on to me, like, okay, this kid has it, like let's try to get in with him. And I've just been trying to like separate myself from that, just to see, you know, what I like outside of the music, and it's been a learning experience, you know, but I'm working on it. Definitely working on it.
You said you're writing novels.
Yeah.
Dope. Um, have you ever considered doing screenwriting?
Actually, no.
No.
I've been again. I'm a really like shy, introverted person. So even getting to this point where like my work is at such an accessible level is still like weird for me. I'm still, you know, getting used to coming out my shell and believing in myself and like actually appreciating the work that I do. And I feel like that goes for like a lot of creators who, you know, like sharing it and like being confident in what you're sharing. But I never really gave it thought, you know. I kind of just been keeping everything under wraps. I just posted my first face photo the other day, you know, so it's like I'm still getting used to like opening up, you know, like letting everybody know like, yeah, this is me. I kind of feel like I have no choice at this point, because you know it's just like it's at this point it's like irrefutable. Like, okay, this kid like definitely has something going, you know, with his sound. So I'm just slowly embracing it and, you know, trying to be like, okay, there's a lot to me, you know, which is why I'm even appreciative of this type of video interview where I get to talk about everything else that's been happening besides behind the scenes, rather than just he got a placement with this, he got a placement with that, you know. And it's just been honestly, it's been kind of overwhelming, you know, like being so young and having my work being seen by so many people. Like between us, like even Party Next Door like hit me up over some of my work, you know. Like I never thought like Party Next Door would ever like listen to me through YouTube, like out of all places, you know. Like so it's been real crazy, you know, to like different people like I never thought I would work with and love, like hitting me up off the strength of just a YouTube channel or just hearing the song I do with Mozzy or just hearing X, Y, and Z, you know. So I'm definitely still getting used to it. Especially knowing where I came from, like when I was in the hospital and being depressed, and like finally like opening up and showing everybody like the full story. It's been tough, you know. So I'm definitely still getting used to it, you know, in this industry.
How's your mother and your siblings?
Hmm.
I'm reacting to your music and your recent success.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been new for a lot of like everyone in my family. Um, I can't say I speak for everyone, but it was kind of rough for my family to like understand what I was doing, especially like leaving school on a full scholarship and from a very esteemed school. Like I went to Middlebury, so to leave from like a very esteemed school and just to come home and say like, fuck all of that, I want to do what I want to do, what I'm passionate about. So at first it was tough, and now things is getting kind of weird because, you know, like my mom, like even at work, like my mom can't even really go to work because, you know, like her coworkers might know me through YouTube or even my siblings going to school, like they'll be like, yo, your brother knows J.I. and J.I. is really hot among the youth right now. So stuff like that. I'm definitely getting used to it. Like figuring out what I can share and what I can't share, or like things like that. Just really close things. And definitely learning how to set boundaries with like even people I'm close to, like telling them like, yo, don't tell people these things. Like don't tell people X, Y, and Z. Don't tell people you met X, Y, and Z. Um, just trying to understand what parts of my life I can share and what I can't share, and knowing that like I may not be like a super celebrity like a Future or a Drake, but I definitely got things that I don't want to share with the world, for obvious reasons, and just understanding like setting boundaries is really important at this point in my career. So yeah.
Do you have any advice for anyone who's going through a rough time or depression?
Um. Yeah, actually. Today somebody told me learning how to tell people like you don't need someone especially if you're going through a rough time. A lot of people think you need someone to solve it. Sometimes you don't really need someone that's there to solve an issue, but just to be there. Learning how to tell people like it's okay just being there. Like I don't need you to solve everything that's going on. I don't need you to be the solution to what I'm going through, but I just need you there. I feel like that's important. When I was going through depression a lot, like I didn't know how to really communicate with people and tell them like I'm just appreciative of you being like in this space. You don't really got to do anything, just being here. Um, and learning how to really communicate that you're going through like a lot of shit, because it's really hard to tell people like I'm depressed, or like if somebody like asks you like, well, why'd you do this, and like having to really break down in detail like how it's hard to do those things. So just really telling people like I'm happy you're here is a big thing. And definitely figuring out a bunch of different ways to express yourself. Um, because it's okay to be alone. It's really okay to be alone, and I feel like that's a hard thing for like a lot of people to do. Just find a beauty in solitude. I know that might sound really cliche, but there's a beauty in it, and in exploring yourself and just loving like things about you. I've been doing that a lot lately, like figuring out things about myself that I really love. Like I really love how I take care of myself. I really love like how I dress. Things like that. We take it for granted. It's a lot of small things that we take for granted, and especially for creatives, I feel like we just need to really take some time and just love ourselves first, before we do anything. I put a lot of my work out there without loving myself, and when the opportunities came, it was hard for me to really go, okay, I have it. Like the first person to hit me up was Bryson Tiller, his manager, Neil Dominique, um, and I wasn't in a place where I was okay with my work. Like I really didn't feel like I was good, and when those people like come knocking at the door and they're like, yo, bro, we love your work, like we want more. It's hard to create more when you don't feel like you can. Like you're like, well, I don't see it. Like, what do you see? Like, I don't see it. And that lack of confidence can really stifle a lot of things, in your life. So I'm finally coming to a point like I'm really like enjoying my work. I know I got that fire. I know I'm heat and stuff like that. I'm just finally getting to a point where like I know when I bust up on my computer, whatever I make is about to be some shit. Like woo,
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah.
And it took I'm gonna be real. It took me a while to get to that point, but I'm glad I did. And I didn't lose any of my connections to get to that point. Like so, I'm really appreciative of that too.
If you had the opportunity to collaborate with any two artists and any two producers, any genre, who would they be?
Okay. Well, of course, a lot of people know that Drake is like my main one.
You know that.
Yeah.
I saw the petition.
Yeah.
Who else?
From a different genre, I do want to work with DJ Snake.
Oh, DJ Snake.
Yeah. He's killing the game right now. I was in the studio like a few weeks ago in LA, probably like December-ish, came to say a few weeks, and I got played a few records like early releases from DJ Snake, and he was just combining like a lot of Latin bounce with '90s records, like kind of what Chixtape does with Tory Lanez, but with Latin bounce like J Balvin and Bad Bunny, and it was sick. I was like, holy shit, like this guy like combined like '90s like hip hop, like Jada, like not even like just so many like so much '90s hip hop influences with like the Latin bounce, and I was just absolutely insane for me. And I loved it. Okay, so the next producer is DJ Mustard.
Must.
Yeah, I know you guys heard a lot of his stuff on
YG.
Yeah.
Dom Kennedy.
Yeah, so he's definitely one of the OGs I want to work with just because I feel like I got a lot to learn from him. I appreciate his sound. Even on like Roddy Ricch's like latest album, like he did some crazy shit with like bass rolls, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I didn't know you could roll a sub bass, like or turn a sub bass into a drum break, shit like that. I really appreciate him. Another artist I definitely want to work with. It's tough. I would say Roddy Ricch, but kind of like everyone else that falls in Roddy Ricch's lane. Like Cowboy maybe or Polo G. but only because I feel like they do a good job of expressing like where I came from as well. Is like the other type of artists I work with, like the real like hardcore rappers like Mozzy, Surf, etc. And I'm just really appreciative of their sound that they're contributing to the game right now. And I definitely want to get in tune with that for sure.
Is there any young artists you want to collaborate in the New York area?
Yeah, so there's a lot, which is why I'm also glad you brought up JI, because now that I'm working with JI, it kind of opened the door to like a lot of New York artists. Because I'm gonna be honest, I never really thought I had a New York sound until JI. I definitely want to get one in with like Jake Wacko, Pop Smoke, Smooth L. I got I got a few more like KJ Ball and a bunch of other people like that.
So producer talk.
Yep.
You like Zaytoven a
Oh
lot?
yeah.
Metro,
yeah,
Southside.
all of them.
Yeah, same here, man.
No, it's just funny because like, although my influences come from like Kanye and like Oz, or like Mike Dean and everybody like that, I definitely appreciate the other guys too, like Zaytoven and them. I envy them too because like they definitely got the musical experience that I dream of having. But I appreciate them just because like it's there. Like I work with a few guys that like are like Zaytoven on the keys, and it's just crazy to see like when you mix and match like somebody who doesn't have as much but has like the emotion and sound, and somebody who does have it but might be lacking the other, and it come together and make something amazing. I really appreciate it.
How do you want to be remembered?
I'm not gonna lie, I've been thinking about that question a lot. I feel like a lot of people told me it's too early to think about that question, but I only think about it now because I feel like I'm taking a lot more time in my work. I definitely want to be remembered as someone that's like indispensable. I feel like in this day and age in the industry, the hardest thing to do is like not be seen as someone that can be replaced. Because it's really hard to like it's really hard in this day and age when there's access to so many different things to not fall in line with everyone else. And when I first started producing, I felt like I fell in line with everyone else. And it really took that time when I first dropped out of school and I didn't have anyone really supporting me to kind of explore myself and figure out what I liked. Which I'm kind of glad for. Not a lot of people have time to do that. And I feel like now at this point in my career, like I'm indispensable. Like I have such a unique sound and a unique pocket that it's like, well, if you want that sound and pocket, you have to go to this guy. And in turn, I feel like I start to make timeless music that way. When you start to make timeless music when it can't be replicated, or when like there's not a lot of people that can do what you do. And I'm so grateful that I did that so early on in my career, because now all I have to do is build upon that unique and indispensable pocket that I kind of built already. And like a lot of my friends, like they're big, they're getting really big. They work with like a lot of big artists like NLE Choppa and Lateka, but they always come to me and they're like, yo, bro, you got the samples, yo, bro, you got the sound. Like I want to mix what I have that everyone else is doing with what you have that no one else is doing. And every time they do it, I end up getting a placement. I'm like, oh shit, like that was my first JI placement, like mixing the trap drums with like my samples. And it turned into Used To, and now Used To is about to hit 1 million views. It's like one of his best songs. And it's just I'm really glad that I feel like I'm going to be remembered as that guy that like, yo, I'm a pro, I got what I got, but he has something that no one else has, and I gotta come to him if I want that. So I definitely remember like that.
Well said. Jabari, is there any projects or songs or albums that we should be looking forward to coming out soon?
I talked about it a little bit. I'm gonna be real with y'all, I'm on a lot of projects dropping this year. I don't know if you guys know who Fora is. He's a big independent rapper. I'm on his album, With Love Too. I'm on Mozzy's album. I got a bunch on Mozzy's album. I'm on Fresher's album. I got a bunch on there. I'm on Dr. Malik's album with Tory Lanez. I'm on there. It's just a bunch. There's a bunch of projects coming out. I'm definitely gonna be on J.I.'s album.
You said Malik and
Dr.
Tory?
Malik and Tory Lanez. Yeah.
They're having a joint album?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So be on the lookout for that. You guys already know I'm gonna be on J.I.'s album. Yeah. So it's just a lot of projects I'm gonna be on this year. Those are the ones I can confirm for sure. I might end up on TJ3K's album with that Polo G. Follow the placements, but also follow everything I'm doing on YouTube and everything like that. Because everything kind of goes hand in hand. I'm working with like a bunch of artists like Icy Narco and a bunch of other people like that. Yeah. So just really be on the lookout. I'm locked in with so many people right now, and I wish I could like go over everyone, but it's fast. Everything's coming at me real fast right now. So yeah, those are ones I can confirm, but be on the lookout for everyone else too.
How can people reach you?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm still really accessible. You could hit me up through Instagram. I try to go through all my message requests. Definitely comment on the YouTube video. Unlike a lot of YouTubers, I reply to every single comment on every single video. Crazy, I know, but I still do it. I live stream a lot too, so tune into that. I like to critique people's music and listen to them and give my opinion. It's not all about me. It's definitely about the creative sphere. But yeah, you can reach me through anywhere, you know.
At Jabarionthebeat.
Jabarionthebeat on every single platform. I try to follow the thing like I like to be accessible no matter what. Like no matter how big or how small I get, the goal is to always be accessible because there was a point in time where I wish I had everyone, and now that I have everyone, I don't want to flip the script. So yeah, appreciate everything.
Oh, that was amazing, man.
Of course.
Glad we sat down, man.
That's good.
Yeah, put whatever the fuck you want, man.
Don't spill on your don't spill on the crispy.